If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hello, book lovers. Welcome to Must Love Books. Hello, and welcome back to Must Love Books podcast. Today, I am here for a follow-up, part 2, featuring one of my favorite Bookstagrammers, Shae Reads, and we are doing part 2 of our tips and tricks for Bookstagram. And this time, I had a bunch of our listeners submit some of their biggest questions for Shae in regards to being a Bookstagrammer. So we're just going to dive right in. Shae, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am so good, and I'm so happy to have you back on. You're actually my first guest to be on a second time. Like, I have a few repeats scheduled later in the year, but you're the first one to make it.
Wait, thank you so much. I didn't know that. That's such an honor. Thank you.
We had such a great time on your first episode, just talking about books and chatting about our Bookstagrams that, I mean, having you back was a no-brainer.
That is so kind of you to say thank you. I had so much fun as well. And you were so kind to me because it was my first ever podcast and I was so nervous. Do you remember? I was so nervous. You were did great. So kind. Thank you. Fake it till you make it. You were so good to me and I just really appreciate that. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be back.
You know, fake it till you make it is literally how I started. My first few interviews, I was so nervous. And now, I mean, over 60 in, going strong. It just gets easier every time. Thank you.
It does. I think it does. And fake it till you make it is my entire life philosophy. Like literally in every single area of my life. If I don't know how to do something, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm just going to fake this and we'll figure it out eventually.
All right. So let's just go ahead and dive right into these questions.
Yes, let's do it. I'm so excited. And a big thank you to everyone who commented the questions. They were so much fun to read through and I'm really looking forward to getting into this.
We had so many great questions. Unfortunately, we have to narrow it down to the top 10. Otherwise, this episode would be 3 hours long and I don't want to edit that.
Let's do a 10-hour episode. It's an absolute marathon and we'll just answer every single question that anyone has ever had about Bookstagram.
Ever.
In the history of Bookstagram.
Just in the whole history. Yep.
I don't know how long it's been around. How long has Bookstagram been around?
Bookstagram started before, it started before Book Talk, and Book Talk's been around like 4 or 5 years now. So Bookstagram's been around.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes I'll be like, how long have you been on Bookstagram? Like just asking people. And I think that the most I've seen is like 9 years, I would say, which is so impressive because I've only been on Bookstagram for 2 years. So I like hearing all the lore of the Bookstagram world. Makes me happy. I want to hear everything. Like, what was it like when it first started? It's so cool.
Yeah, I have to get some of the OG Bookstagrammers on here to tell those stories.
Yes, can you please? I would love to hear an episode about like what it was like 8-9 years ago and what type of books were being reviewed and like what was the style. Oh, I would listen to that podcast so hard.
All right, that's next on my list. So we're going to start with our questions here. And our first one was, how do you get engagement on your posts, specifically comments?
This is such a good question because I I'm constantly asking myself this question as well. So this one was sent in by Ivy Reading. So thank you so much, Ivy Reading, for putting this question in. I have a couple of pieces of advice for this. All of this advice is going to center around community. So I'm going to come back to community. The number one thing I recommend for all Bookstagrammers is fostering a community. But first I'll talk about like what you can do physically in your own captions to generate comments and engagement, and also things like likes and shares and saves and things like that. So the number one thing that I do is I ask a question in my caption. It gives your audience an opportunity to connect with you, and it gives them an easy way in. So they want to talk to you, they want to comment on your post, but sometimes even I think I'd love to comment on this post, but I'm not sure what to say. So if there's a question in there that I can answer, it's so much easier for me. When you're writing out a question in your caption, keep it reasonably universal. What I mean when I say that is a question that a majority of the people would have an answer to. So what is your staff time? How are you spending the holiday season? Specifically to Bookstagram, what was your last 5-star read? What was the last book that you purchased or borrowed from the library? Things like that are really helpful. Something that I should probably do more of is like asking questions in the comment section as well. So you can have your caption and then in your comment section, you ask another question that people can reply to. Always respond to your comments. If someone takes the time to leave a comment on one of my posts, I want to be respectful and give that love back and reply to that comment. Even if it's just a little love heart, it shows your audience that you're willing to interact with them, which is so important because, again, community. And then so the third thing that I would say is to comment on other Bookstagrammers' content, especially when you're starting out. Hype up other people's content. Get in there, like go and leave a supportive comment on other Bookstagrammers' content. And not only will that help the algorithm show your content in their feeds because you're engaging with one another, it's also just nice. Like, we're all in this together. So get out there and comment on other people's things. Keep it positive. Always be nice. And I think that'll help you get more comments. You know, if someone leaves a comment on my page, most of the time I will jump onto their page immediately as soon as I see their comment or I'm replying to their comment, and I'll leave a nice little comment on one of their posts. It's a beautiful site.
That is really beautiful. And, you know, the biggest part of Bookstagram really is the community. So creating that community by engaging with those that engage with you, not only does that create a positive engagement cycle, but it really boosts community and connection. And that's what is at the core of Bookstagram.
And I think that's why it's the best corner of the internet, is because everybody wants to be a part of, well, most people want to be a part of this beautiful community.
So the next question is one that was asked a lot in the comments, and that is about what editing tools do you use the most often for creating your content?
This question was asked a lot. And thank you to everyone who asked about this. I'm so sorry. I don't have like a good answer for this. I don't use editing tools. And I think I'll probably look back on this in a few years and be like, Shae, sort it out. But for now, I don't use any. Like, I'm probably making my life like 10 times more difficult than it needs to be by not using any editing tools. So I'm so sorry to those who wrote in. I edit my static posts and sometimes video content in my Photos app, like literally like with like brightness and contrast. And then I'll do it again on the Instagram app just to make sure that it's super bright and super colorful because that's my aesthetic. I have dabbled in like CapCut. Have you used CapCut before, Krystle?
I do CapCut quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe I'll turn this question back on you because you're a superstar. What tools do you use? Like, we need to give the people something. So how about you take this question?
So my number one has to be Canva, and I don't use it on my phone because I hate using it on my phone. I do know some creators who love using the phone version, but to me, I can never put anything in the right spot, and it drives me nuts. I use Canva on my laptop, and that's probably the main thing. Any kind of image that you see, unless it's straight up just a photo I took, which then I do still edit in the photo apps, you know, play with the brightness and everything, make sure things look clear. But anything else that is an image is going to come from Canva 99% of the time. And then for videos, I often use CapCut for templates. They have so many templates, and you can literally just click on, what photos or videos you want included, throw it all together on a template, and bing, bam, boom. I like ones that take me 5 minutes to make. I don't want to spend any more time than that because I'm going to spend even longer choosing the music. The music, I'm going to spend like 20 minutes picking a song, but the actual video of it, 5 minutes tops.
That's incredible because I spend so much time editing my reels on Instagram. So I'm probably just not doing it right. I need to get into these templates and things like that. I should have commented on the post and been like, what editing tools should I use? Because I actually don't. So it's all very basic over here on Shae Reads page, but I will look into it. Canva, I 100% agree. I see so many creative Bookstagrammers use Canva, and I love that. I think that they have got that aesthetic down pat, and I think you do it really well as well, Krystle.
Thank you.
You do your Canva in a really engaging way, which I love. So Canva for the win.
I'm actually starting to create videos on Canva now too. So if I want something that's just more custom, then I'm using Canva for it. CapCut is great for transitions and templates and when you just need to do something fast. But when you have something that you just want more custom or have more variety in transitions that you can kind of choose how you want it to be, Canva is pretty great. It does take a little bit of a learning curve. I'm still learning some things about what we can do with the video creation option over there. I also use it for my website. I have a very simple, basic website for Must Love Books podcast, and I don't have much on there right now because I literally just wanted something that's like, here is my podcast, and it exists on the internet. And that's basically what my website is, and Canva was able to deliver something simple and basic. I know people prefer things like Squarespace for a lot more personalized creation of their websites. That stuff is just too much time and too much work for me. So I'm good for a basic Canva web page.
I love this for us. We're just like, what's the easiest way that we can do this? It takes some time. Yeah, so keep it easy, keep it simple.
Oh, yeah. So for our next question is going to be, what types of things do you recommend for growing your following online?
Question. So this one was sent in by Shae Reads. So thank you so much, Shae. Again, I'm just going to talk about community. This podcast could probably be 5 minutes of me just be build your community. That's it. I would say just focus on that, especially when you're starting out. Focus on building your community. And if you are building other people up, they will build you up. That's just how it works. Hopefully that they're equally as supportive as you. And I have a really incredible group of people around me that I post for initially to get my engagement going. I know that when I post, there's going to be 20 creators that I can rely on to start my content getting into people's algorithm. They're going to like it, they're going to comment, and they're going to share. But you have to do that too. You have to do that for your community and other people. You need to show up for them. I would also say a big thing, and to be honest, this is something that I struggle with, and I know that a lot of people struggle with it as well, is being authentic. I think that on social media, there's such a temptation to be shiny and polished. And I think that even now I still try and put my best face forward, and something that I'm working on. But people, even on social media, can feel inauthenticity from a mile away. So I would say if you're going to grow your audience, be authentic, show up as yourself. Your audience is following you because they like you. So try and show up for them in a meaningful way, to a capacity that you can. I would also say reels, which I think we've touched on briefly, they do take a lot of work. No matter what kind of tools you're using, you need to come up with a good idea. You need to have good execution. In my experience, a good reel will be shown to more non-followers than any other type of content. A majority of my followers have come from engaging reels. A lot of my followers have come from engaging reels, and I've been really lucky to go viral. Literally had thousands and thousands of followers find me and my page through Reels. You can still have really good traction from static posts. I do believe that a good static post is a good way of engaging with your existing community. But if you're looking to reach new people who have no idea who you are and what you're about, I would say Reels. You don't have to post a reel every single day. You don't have to, burn yourself out trying to come out with all of these incredible reel ideas. I aim for 1 to 3 reels a week. If you can only manage one, do one, but make it a good reel. Those would be my little pieces of advice for growing your following. But also, I'm just going to say, I know that I'm really blessed to have a lot of followers, but it's not really about, I'll try and say this in a nice way, but it's not really about the follower count, if that makes sense. I think if you focus too much on got to get more follows, got to get people to my page, I think you can lose that passion for why you first started. And that is to connect with the book community and share this love of reading. So I think as long as you've got your heart in the right place, go for it. There's nothing wrong with trying to grow your audience online. We're all trying to do it.
I actually do have a tip on growing your audience with Reels that I have not actually tried yet myself at the time of recording. However, I'm going to start. So maybe by the time this comes out, I'll have an update on hey, this works, or
Yay!
You know what, this didn't actually work at all. So as some of our listeners know, I also organize the Book Podcast Connection, which is a networking group that now has over 100 book-related podcasts in it. And some of our fellow members of the group have been talking about using the trial option on Reels. Not every creator has this option, so you kind of have to go into your own settings when posting a Reel to see if you have it. And if you don't have it, you're going to have to Google what you need to do, because I don't actually know who gets it and who doesn't. But what this basically does is it forces your Reels to go outside of your followers to gauge whether or not it is a quote unquote good Reel, or if it's something that people will engage with, that they're going to like, they're going to comment, they're going to follow. And you get these insights that tell you, well, this one's not performing really well, or hey, this kind of thing is performing really well. And it kind of helps give you a little bit more of an idea of what's going to draw people in. And then after 24 hours, you can just take those Reels and you can still add them to your main page so that your own current followers can find them as well. But I'm seeing some of my book podcast friends who are trying this method out to grow their podcasting audience, and they're finding some success. So I'm going to try it too, and you all try it with me, and let's see what works.
I will definitely try that. Thank you so much. That has shown up on my page as something to do, but I've never tried it myself. So I'm going to try it too, and we can see how we go. I think that would be a really fun way to do it. I think that would also be a good way of taking the pressure off, to be none of my friends or my audience are going to see this. So if it doesn't work, it's fine.
Right? Try something new, yes. Put yourself out there, think outside of the box, and you'll see what works and what doesn't work. And then you can always add it to your regular content later.
I love that. You've inspired me. I'm going to get a little bit unhinged, and I'm going to do some trial Reels and see what works.
I know. I hope I can report back.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be expecting an update for sure.
Okay. So for our final Bookstagram specific question is, what advice do you have for new Bookstagrammers?
I love new Bookstagrammers. They make me so happy. This question was sent in by Books with Becky. So thank you so much, Becky, for this question. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. I think this is the question that sparked this podcast. So thank you, Becky. I want to talk about community again, just because we haven't touched on it enough. Definitely build a strong community around you, especially when you're first starting out. For me, the first 100 followers was the hardest, because you've made this account, nobody knows who you are, you don't have a reputation yet, and you have no idea what you're doing. You're like, what am I supposed to do? So I would say start building that community as soon as possible. Find some people. It'll come up with your account will come up with suggested accounts to follow. Jump on some of those accounts, see which ones match your aesthetic, who's reading the same books that you like, and start hyping them up. Start commenting, start liking, start sharing. It's in a safe and meaningful way that you can start building connections. The The other thing that I think is really important, it's not available to everybody. Obviously, it depends where you live. Like events are accessible to you, but I would say events. Book events are the one of many things actually that I wish I started earlier in my Bookstagram journey. I'm so lucky to live in Sydney, and there are so many book events in Sydney. So I go to as many as I can. I go to book signings, I go to book launches. I'm really blessed to be able to go to publishing houses and meet authors and things like that, which is so much fun. Go to showcases. Things like showcases will come as you build your audience and you become more trusted in the community. But you don't even have to be a Bookstagrammer to go to book signings and book launches. You can find those things on the internet. You literally can just type into Google book events near me and it'll come up with different things that you can go to. I get really bad social anxiety, which I think surprises people. But when I go to an event, I am so stressed. I know how difficult it is to see someone that you might know on Bookstagram or someone that looks approachable and might want to talk to you and go up and say hello. It's so scary. I'm sweating all the time. Like it's not a nice feeling, but the connections that you'll make once you push past that initial discomfort and social anxiety is priceless. I have received so many opportunities and made so many new friends by going to book events and meeting new people. I know that Bookstagram is very social media, it's very online, but bringing in that face-to-face element, if you can, is so important. My last piece of advice for new Bookstagrammers is just be kind to yourself. It's okay if it takes a little bit longer. It took me 12 months before one of my reels really went off, but because I am so passionate about reading, I was posting because I had that passion. I was patient. Good things will come to you. You've just started your Bookstagram account. You can do this. I'm always just a DM away as well. You are welcome to reach out and I can give you some advice as well if you need it.
It was lovely.
Thank you. I love Bookstagrammers so much with my whole heart, and new Bookstagrammers as well. Like the most important thing to me in the Bookstagram community is I'm so lucky to have come this far. So it's really important for me to turn back and help other people grow their Bookstagram and feel confident in what they're posting.
And I have to say, fully agree with your advice about attending book events. Through the podcast, I have been doing a few more in-person book events myself. I recently covered the book launch for Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes, which was a fantastic book launch event. That was at Read Between the Lines in Woodstock, Illinois, for anyone who cares. And the episode is a few episodes back if you want to listen to it. I recorded like the author Q&A and posted that as part of a podcast episode. And this year I will be going to, and I will be having a table at Romance Con in Milwaukee in September, which I'm super excited for. I haven't actually announced that yet, but I'll be there with a table announcement. We're going to be doing giveaways. I've got some gift baskets that I've been making to give away. I have over 1,000 bookish stickers that I have been collecting to give away at our table. And we'll be doing live Q&As for anyone who wants to just pop over and talk about some books, and I'm going to record it all for the podcast and we can all just share and connect.
Wow, that is amazing. Congratulations on that opportunity.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
If I was remotely anywhere near you, I would come and support you. We have
other side of the planet.
A lot of water between us. Literally, thank God for Zoom.
Yeah, Sydney to Chicago is pretty far.
I would love to go to Chicago though. I think that would be so much fun.
You should. Let's have a Chicago book trip. Put it on the calendar.
Done. And then we can do another episode.
Yes.
Just be us traveling around Chicago.
There we go. There's so many bookstores. We can just stop at all the bookstores in Chicago. And there we go. There's our episode right there.
I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there are a lot of bookstores in the States. like a lot?
Yes,
Or is that just
especially no, with the rise of indie bookstores, there are so many bookstores. I mean, obviously there are places that have less and places that have more, but I mean, just in the Chicago area, I know of like 20.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
there's
so cool.
so many.
I feel like, I feel like we're really lucky in Sydney because it's probably the most bookstores that there are. I mean, that's not a fact. That's just my opinion. But I do feel like whenever my friends go to the States, they come back with so many books. And I'm like, where are you getting these from? And they're like, there's so many bookstores. So I'll come to Chicago. We'll do every single bookstore. It'll be great. We'll get
It'll
our
be
steps
awesome.
in.
Yes,
Like cardio though.
that'll be some cardio, yeah.
I'm ready. I'll be there.
So when it comes to posting, do you prefer to post book reviews or book aesthetic posts?
Review or book aesthetic post? This question, this came from Book Bestie Said. Thank you so much. I think a lot of Bookstagrammers will agree with me, and I don't know if you will too, Krystle, but I feel like book reviews are on the decline. And this makes me so sad. I think that the algorithm isn't favoring book reviews as much as they're favoring really aesthetic posts. I love to see a book review. I love to do a book review. If I read a 5-star book, I immediately want to get on my notes app and do a book review because I want everyone to read it. And I think that's such an important part of Bookstagram is promoting authors, promoting their books, and using our platforms to get people reading the things that we like so we can talk to more people about it. I probably personally do more aesthetic posts because I think that's what my audience prefers. I'm really, really lucky to have a beautiful big library. And because that library belongs to the book community, like I don't think that I own this library. This belongs to Bookstagram now. They like to see it, so I like to show them. And so I would probably say book aesthetics, but my advice would be do whatever feels natural to you. Don't try and fit a certain mold because you think this is what you should be doing. If you want to focus on book reviews, do that. If you want to do aesthetic, do that. Or do a mix of both. I try and do a mix of both. But I only ever post positive reviews. I'm not a Bookstagrammer that will go out and post a negative review about a book that wasn't for me. Like I'm not arrogant enough to assume that like every single book was written with my personal taste in mind, with my favorite tropes and characters and things like that. And one of my biggest fears on Bookstagram is to post a book in a negative way that someone in my audience would read that and be deterred from reading a book that could literally change their life. I don't want my opinion to be fact ever on Bookstagram.
Yeah, I don't post negative reviews on Instagram either as well. In fact, I haven't really posted book reviews in a while just because they just take work and I'm lazy when it comes to my posting. Yes. Booked and busy. So sometimes I don't always have the time to review the books that I read, which is honestly, I need to make more time with that because I've been reading so many 5-star reads lately that are absolutely killing it. And, that's kind of how Bookstagram started was with book reviews. So maybe we need to shift that focus back a little bit.
I agree. Okay, you and me. Bring back book reviews. We're in charge of this. But I think you're right. I think book reviews used to be way more prominent on Bookstagram. And I would love to see more of them. And I trust your recommendation. So Krystle, get back on the book review train. I want to see reviews on your page.
Doing it.
Because it helps me too. You're on it. Write that down. Like I think a book review is so important. Because if I'm following someone because I like their taste in books, like we have similar tastes, and if they're like, oh my gosh, this was a 5-star read, best believe I'm going to pick that book up next time I go to the bookstore. It helps me too. So I'm being so selfish. Like, can Bookstagram just bring back book reviews for me, just personally, on a personal note? Not that my TBR needs it, but yeah, let's bring them back.
Here for it. We're doing it. So how do you get out of or avoid posting slumps? I deal with this a lot, to be honest. I always have it like in my head, like I'm going to create a posting calendar and I'm going to post every day. And you know what doesn't happen? That.
We're not posting every day. Yeah.
No.
This question makes me laugh because I'm exactly the same as you. This was sent in by That's What She Read, which is a great handle. I'm in a posting slump right now. Like if I'm being honest and vulnerable, like I'm struggling a little bit right now with getting new content, fresh content, but I'm never mean to myself about it. I never beat myself up because normally a posting slump is a reflection of what's going on offline. You're busy, you're stressed, work is crazy, family commitments, and you don't have that moment to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to post. I'm going to be creative. So I would say just write it out. It's normally a wave for me. If I start to get into a posting slump, I'm just like, okay, this is what it is. I focus on hyping up other people in my community. Just because I'm in a posting slump doesn't mean other creators are in a posting slump. So I get on their pages and I like and I comment and I share when I can, just to make sure that, someone's posting. But I would say something that does help me sometimes is to batch content. If I've got my makeup on, I've got my hair done, I'll try and film 2 to 3 reels. I'll try and do a couple of static posts. So on the days when I'm really struggling to even write a caption, I can go into my gallery and I can be, okay, I've already got this. It's ready to go. So make content when the sun is shining, both outside and in your brain. Do it when you can. And then when you can't, just take it easy. It's okay if you're in a posting slump. It happens to everybody. It happens to me. And I think, especially on social media, because it's constant, right? Like you have things coming at you 24/7. You think, oh my God, these creators are never in a posting slump. What is wrong with me? Let me tell you, everybody gets in posting slumps. I'm in one right now, but it'll be over soon. Okay.
Love the idea of working through a posting slump by focusing on engaging with other content creators. I mean, that is honestly, it's genius. You're a genius. It helps, with continuing to build the community and supporting the community. And I feel like just being able to conversate with others on their own pages will kind of help release some of those blocks. And you might find some inspiration just by talking with other people from the community and sharing what we're reading and answering their little questions of the day. And you might find something that just really just triggers something in your brain that's, oh my goodness, I need to post about this. I love that. For me personally,
Absolutely.
what I do is when I get on an Instagram posting slump, I go to Threads and I just say the most random, crazy shit that comes to my head. Like, Threads, you don't have to worry about, having your makeup done. You don't have to worry about crafting an image or a reel. You can just say things and post that way, and no one's going to stop you.
Absolutely. I will say quickly, because I've said it now, so I should probably explain it. You don't have to have your hair done and your makeup done to make posts. Please don't take away that that's what I'm trying to say. For me personally, I like to have my hair and makeup done when I'm making content, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that at all. Back to Threads. Threads is unhinged and I love Threads. It's so chaotic. I'm going to try that. Now that I'm in a bit of a posting slump, I'm going to jump onto Threads and just have fun.
My method for approaching Threads actually came from another creator on Instagram. Her name is Brecker by Brecker. She is a big Six of Crows poster. If you're not familiar with her, check her out because she's always posting the absolute best Six of Crows and Grishaverse memes. Amazing posting. She and I were talking back and forth at one point. We were talking about Threads and I'm like, so how do you come up with what you post on Threads? And she's like, I just post whatever random shit I'm thinking and it's there. That's all it is. If I have this thought, type it, post it. And it is, generally Grishaverse related because that is her bread and butter. That's her main theme is anything Lee Bardugo, which is valid. So valid. And I'm like, you know what? I like that idea. Sometimes I have just a random thought and there's no one to share it with. And it doesn't need to be coherent. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't even need to be about books. You can just post it and no one's going to stop you.
I love that. I'm going to spend some time looking through your Threads posts because it sounds amazing.
I'm going to read some of them for you. Posted 20 hours ago, which means this would have been posted at like 11 o'clock at night. How is it that Pedro Pascal makes khakis look good? Fucking khakis.
I think we can all agree that Pedro Pascal could make anything look good.
Now, I do also post like serious things on my threads, and threads is probably where I also post the most like political takes. But then I also post random stuff like Pedro Pascal.
Amazing. Hit me with another one. I want to hear another one.
All right. One time I had someone complaining about my page including smut. This was not a reader. This was just a troll. So I said, I will now post more smut, and also pointed out that this creator had to scroll through 19 posts before finding something smutty to talk about. I'm like, oh, well, I apparently need to post more.
You do. I feel that person was definitely going out of their way to look for a problem.
Oh, yeah, they were going. My favorite ones, though, are my current Sunrise on the Reaping thoughts that I have been sharing. We're doing 3 parts talking about the book, and I have been posting some of my takes on threads. And these ones may not necessarily be funny, but they just feel right. And that is, Suzanne Collins saw all those Tom Blythe/Snow edits and went, "Are you thirsty? Drink your tears." Yeah, Suzanne Collins really just came for our throats with this book. Katniss may have been Lucy Gray's revenge, but Sunrise on the Reaping was Suzanne Collins' revenge.
My goodness, that book shattered me.
It really did.
Well, yeah, I really think that she did a number on us, for sure.
Sure.
It's like one of the best books I've read this year, but it's also the most devastating. I cried a lot.
It's intense.
My tears. There were a lot of tears.
The final one that I will share, because it just feels right to end the threads talk on this one, is, if one person likes this, I'll quit my job and read all day.
Did someone like it?
I had a couple dozen people like it. I'm like, I'm out of here. Bye.
I think that means that you never have to work ever again.
I think it does. I should send that to my boss.
Sorry.
Hate
to do this to you. Threads has spoken.
Threads has said it's okay. I can quit.
It's fine. Who's going to pay my rent?
So we do have a couple of fun questions from some of our listeners for you. So I'm going to ask, do you follow a set TBR, or how do you pick your next read?
No, I couldn't stick to a TBR even if I tried. This question came from Book Lover 0005, so thank you so much. I am 100% a mood reader. I get this from my mum. We cannot follow a TBR. I will literally stand in front of my bookshelf once or twice a week and be like, what do I feel like reading? If I have a collab or something that I need to read a specific book for, I will read it during the day in the afternoon, and that like I'm focusing on like what I need to read, and that I do that because I don't want to mess with my evening mood reading time. So the best 2 hours of my day, I get into bed, I read my book, and I don't want to be reading something at nighttime that I don't feel like reading. It's so important to me to end my day reading something that I'm in the mood for. So mood reader forever.
Make a TBR that is like, okay, next I'm going to read this, and then this one, and then that one, and then that one. And then I don't follow that at all and just read what I end up picking up, or what comes through on my Libby. Sometimes my Libby holds something will come through early, and I'll have to drop everything and read that instead.
It might sound really obvious, but what is
that might be like an American thing now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know if that's available outside the US, but so Libby, so for, at least for Americans, I don't know for other listeners if you have access to Libby or not, but it connects with your library card. Your library card will have an account where you can access specific ebooks or audiobooks, and you can check out like a certain number at a time for 3 weeks, and you listen to it or read it through the Libby app. I generally use it for audiobooks. In fact, it is the main way I listen to audiobooks, which I play while I'm working my day job. And you can put holds on books that aren't out yet or have other people listening to them. You can hold 8 books at a time. And so sometimes some will come up early because, people finish it and they return it. And so it'll pop up on your phone, hey, this book's ready for you to borrow, and you got to smash that button and get your book. But it's a really great way to support your libraries and you get to borrow books
Absolutely.
and give them back, and it's really great. I love Libby.
That is so cool. I love that. I did a very quick Google search as you were talking. I think it is a thing here in Australia. You just go to the library and just pick a few books off by vibes. So I don't know, maybe I should look into that. Like, that's so cool. So I think it is a thing here, and I love that it's called Libby. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, Libby is great, and Libby often dictates what I'm reading because you don't want your book to expire before you finish it, which I've had happen before, and it was devastating to have to go back on the wait list.
It would have sucked if you were like really enjoying it and then it's just gone.
I've had it happen a couple times because I was just busy and not keeping up on it, and then I had to go back on a wait list and wait again to finish my book.
That's tragic. I love the library. I do borrow from the library whenever I can because it's such an important resource to use. I am like very privileged to be able to buy books, and I do recognize that. That's not available to everyone, but I do very much believe in supporting your local library. I'm there all the time. I like to work at the library. It's so relaxing.
Oh, so next is, what is your favorite snack while reading?
This is so cute. I love that people eat when they read. That makes me so happy. This question came through from Michaela Reads Literature. So thank you so much, Michaela. I don't eat when I'm reading because I read lying down, and that's a choking hazard. So I will be lying in bed and I read on my back. So I'm lying down, so I'm holding it. I've got little hands, so I need two hands to hold the book above me because I'm a physical book girly. If I'm reading in the afternoon, sometimes I'll snack, like probably just some like popcorn or something that's like easy to just grab in between. But that's such a cute question. Do you snack while reading, Krystle?
It kind of depends. I mean, there are times where I'm reading and I definitely create like a whole charcuterie board of snacks to eat. I'll have cheese and meats and nuts and fruit and oh yeah, the whole shebang. But if I'm like reading in my bed, I don't have snacks. Because you're right, it's a choking hazard.
It is a choking hazard. Please don't eat and read lying down. That sounds so cute that you have a little charcuterie board. It's such a little self-care treat. I love that. Should I try that?
Should. Do it.
But then I would definitely eat like the whole thing. And then, and then I would feel sick.
I say do it. Create a charcuterie board and then post it so I can see it.
I'll be like inspired by Krystle. My problem is that like if I see a charcuterie board, like everything else I can't focus on it because I would literally just put my book down and just start eating. That would be the worst reading snack because I just wouldn't do any reading.
So we have one final question for you today, Shae, and that is, what book cover color are you most drawn to?
This one was sent in by Jen's Book Nook Club. Thank you so much, Jen. I'm not really like drawn to like colors. When I walk into a bookstore or the library, I don't go, oh my gosh, that's a purple book. I must read it. I'm drawn to covers though. I know we talked about this on the previous episode that I don't read a synopsis like ever. I can pick like the genre and the style of writing from the cover, and that's what I normally go on. I like to be surprised when I'm going into a book. I should probably read more synopses, but I don't. I go on the vibes of the cover itself, not the colors. But I think if I had to choose like my top 3 colors in like my bookshelf, and if I see a book, I'm probably going to think it's the prettiest book if it's like a green book or a yellow book or a pink book, which just also happen to be my top 3 favorite colors. So that's why.
Yeah. I like a nice like bright blue.
Yeah, what's yours?
Like something with a nice bright blue always draws my eye. I might not necessarily read it just because it's, it catches my eye, but if I'm walking through a library, through a bookstore, something that's really bright, cerulean blue will really catch my eye, and I'll check it out at the very least and see what's up.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think you're so attracted to that color?
I don't know. I think it just kind of pops out some. It's bright and cheery, and it might not necessarily be something I want to read, but it's something I want to look at.
Is that your favorite color?
No, my favorite color is red.
Like, this is what it is, and I actually don't have an explanation for it. I respect that a lot.
Well, this has been super fun. This was a really great round 2.
I loved it. I had so much.
Now we'll have to prepare for round 3.
Absolutely. I'll get my passport, book an international flight, and we'll do it.
We'll do it.
Absolutely. I think that, wait, it's going into summer too. Absolutely. I do not enjoy the cold. I'm
Me
on my
neither.
way. Yeah.
Just come spend winter here.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds amazing.
And we'll read books and check out bookstores, and I'll make a charcuterie board.
Absolutely. And I won't read anything. I'll just eat my charcuterie board. And we'll record like 100 episodes and people will be like, stop, just stop. We don't want that.
Aren't you two done yet?
No,
And we'll
we've got a
just
lot
talk
to
about
talk about.
cheese and books.
Full episode just on cheese. And we'll just be eating it in the background, which will just drive people crazy because that's not a good ASMR. People don't want to hear that.
We do that sometimes on the Something Smutty book club episodes. We always have like some sort of snack. We all bring stuff. And there are times when I'm editing where like I have to edit this section out because all you can hear is clinking of silverware and things being crumpled up and chomping on food and people throwing food at each other because we are adults.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Gonna have to listen to that and see if I enjoy that.
Yeah, I try to take it down a bit for the actual episode when I release it. I edit as much of that out as I can, but listening to it is hilarious. And there is always, every single episode, there is a moment where everyone just goes quiet and then someone pours their bottle of wine into the glass and you can just hear that.
Just no talking, just wine.
Yes, the mic picks it up really well. It's so funny.
I bet it would. My goodness.
We have fun. It may not be our most successful endeavor, but we have fun.
As long as you have fun, nothing else matters.
Exactly.
People pick up on that too. If you're having fun, they'll be having fun. It's a good time all round.
And in the end, I mean, that's the most important part of Bookstagram is having fun with it. Connecting with others, talking about books, reading books, enjoying the community, and just having fun with it.
Absolutely. Yes, that's such a nice way to kind of like round off the episode is just to have fun, be passionate about it, support your community however you can, go to book events, make friends, and you just have fun. People can tell if you're having fun. And if they go onto your page and they're like, this person is having fun, then they're going to follow you and they're going to join the journey. So just try not to take it too seriously and just have a good time.
And there we have it. So I just want to thank you again, Shae, for joining me again on Must Love Books podcast. This has been a super great time and I've had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Krystle. This has been such a great way to start my weekend. So thank you. And thank you to everyone who sent in questions and to everyone who's listening to this podcast.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Must Love Books. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon under @MustLoveBooksPodcast. Thank you and happy reading.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.